Hey everybody, it's Kim. I just wanted to make a short video for you a little bit about Beachbody coaching and kind of what I do and how I got started and really who we are as Beachbody coaches, because it's a common thing now to see all over the place, oh, that person's a Beachbody coach, but what does it mean? And so I wanted to share with you just a little bit about what this opportunity is and how I got started with it. So I was a full-time stay-at-home mom to one kid, my oldest Caleb, and my plans for my life didn't quite pan out how I thought, and I wound up pregnant much sooner than I thought. And I was all of a sudden a full-time stay-at-home mom like I wanted to be. I had been teaching some hot yoga classes, but that proved to be pretty difficult once my son arrived and was nursing every hour and a half, and it just didn't drive with my husband's schedule. And so just like that, I wasn't working at all. I was changing diapers all day and nursing around the clock and trying to figure out how I could even get a shower in. And I kind of, without realizing it, just fell right into motherhood and put it on as my new identity. And I didn't do anything else. I kind of stopped seeing friends, going out, working out, which was always a big part of my life, doing anything for me. And so, as much as I absolutely loved it, loved being a mom, I also didn't really realize the toll that it was taking for almost a year and a half, that I was just kind of living exhausted. I was starting to kind of get from one day to the next. And again, but my life was all about my child, which we love our kids, absolutely. But I didn't have anything for me anymore. And I didn't kind of have that fire for life anymore. I wasn't really prioritizing my marriage and taking care of myself and feeling good about myself and the skin that I was in. And so all of those things weren't really good. But when my husband and I relocated to Atlanta, Georgia for some more job opportunities and he took a new position, I had been feeling it stirring on my heart. My son's kind of sleeping through the night now. He's doing a lot better. And so I'm getting a full night's sleep and I've got time when he goes to bed. I'm just watching a movie or whatever. I've got time, before he wakes up. Sometimes I'm up before him and he's taking this 2.5 or 3 hour nap every day. I feel like I could be doing something from home, and we really needed a change financially. We had debt to get rid of. We had some moving costs that we had, accrued, and I also at the same time was looking for a way I could take care of me again and that we could afford for me to do that. And a gym just hadn't worked out, and when we moved here the gyms were all really expensive, and so I kind of had a couple of different needs, and that was when the Beachbody opportunity was presented to me after I made a post in a mom's group about some legit home jobs. But I didn't want to sell anything. I had tried that before, didn't work for me, and it didn't feel right. So I'd been praying and praying for an opportunity, and I looked into this, and right away, and I watched a short video, and I was like, no, that's a sales job. No, it's Beachbody. I was growing a lot in my faith at the time. I was like, I don't want to work for a company that's all about the body and it's sort of self-glorification, and this sounds like it's a sales job, as I'm not interested in that. And I just had a lot of misconceptions. I wasn't interested in the shakes because I've never been a shake person. I didn't understand what they were. I didn't know they were just whole food nutrition. It was just like eating a meal that was already ready to go for me, which I was needing as a mom, since I was eating a lot more convenience foods, since it got harder to ever find that time to make stuff for me. And so within 2 weeks, I went back and forth a lot. I prayed a lot, but I ultimately felt like it was on my heart. And I realized that I needed to stop complaining about the things in my life that I didn't love, and I needed to try to make a change. And if in 30 days I didn't, love everything about it, then I could just send it all back and get a refund. But at least I would have tried and know, because I needed to start trying things. With my husband being a full-time restaurant manager and being on call all the time and getting called in early and being stuck late and being there just long hours and days, it didn't leave an ability for me to go back to waiting tables or doing much of anything that would accumulate much income for us. And so, and I didn't want to have somebody else raising my kid for me to go out and get a full-time job. It was important to me to be a stay-at-home mom. I always wanted to be, but we needed to kind of figure out how to make it work. So I decided to take the leap, and honestly, you guys, I have never looked back. I dove right in. I figured it out. I went through a 30-day training like I have for my coaches now, and I was pleasantly surprised to find that not only did I end up loving this superfood shake that I so needed, within 2 weeks of joining a challenge group and starting Insanity, I had so much more confidence. I felt my muscles were already coming back. I felt tone again. I had energy every day. I had more patience with my son. I was excited when he woke up from his nap to see him. My mood had just lifted. Any anxiety and just that getting from one day to the next had passed. I was becoming friends with all the ladies in the challenge group. I was getting social interaction every day in these groups, but it was on my terms. I didn't have to leave my house, and I could still, enjoy my kid's nap when he napped, and I didn't have to feel like I was, having to go out all the time to meet up for workouts or take classes or go to meetings or trainings. That I could do all of this in my own time from my phone when my kid went to bed or when he woke up in the, when he took a nap. And that worked for me on the nights that my husband was at the restaurant anyways. Why sit there and watch a TV show? I could be doing something to further our future and change our finances. And that's exactly what I did. And our first goal for me in the business was that I would be able to make maybe $400 in a month. And then my first goal was that I could buy myself a laptop to work from because mine broke. And I was shocked that within a few months I did that. And when we hit that $400 goal within 4 months in the business, I think it was my third, going into my fourth month, I thought, gosh, I wonder what I could do with this if I'm doing this in a couple hours a day when my son sleeps. And so, and some days it was only 1 hour a day, and some days it was, something that I was just doing 5, sometimes 6 days a week. So it made me start to really wonder. And I was praying about it, and I love what I was doing. I love that I was just sharing my own journey, the healthy changes that I was making in my life, sharing them to help empower and inspire other people to make the same changes. And as they started to reach out and people were asking questions and joining my groups, I loved that I was being a positive influence on other women and helping them make healthy changes. And the fact that I could do that on my own terms and schedule, have that flexibility and do it all from my phone and do something that I loved and make a difference in people's lives and be generating income for my family was crazy to me. I ended up winning free trips with Beachbody this year. We're going to the Mexican Riviera for free. My husband and I never had a honeymoon, so that was huge. As a stay-at-home mom, I really struggled with never having any money for myself, or to feel like I could go buy my husband a Christmas gift or a birthday gift. It was always with his own money, and that hurt me. I hated that. And I just love that I could buy my son something, or go buy a Starbucks on a day that I really felt like I needed it and not feel guilty like we didn't have it. It was just life changing for me to have that extra income, and then to be able to buy my husband a Cub Cadet lawnmower brand new, which was something he so wanted and we really needed. And actually, that income ended up being able for us to be in this house where I now went from working at a Goodwill desk that I bought for $7 with a used chair. The chair is actually still right here, still the same one. That now I'm in my own office, and I was able to pay for this desk and a hutch set and my computer and my printer and the gosh, the clothes that I wear now, and a trip that we're going on that we just won, and that I'm now in the top 0.1% of coaches is incredible. I've been in the business less than 2.5 years, and or about 2.5 years, and the changes that it's made in my life, I've grown closer to God than ever. I've grown in my faith, and belief in myself, and learning to believe in myself more, to trust myself more, and my God-given abilities and potential to pour into other people, and to help them realize those same changes. And growing just as a wife and as a mom and as a friend. It has been the most incredible journey. And the fact that it has just brought this income to our lives to be able to give, to be able to afford this house that we're in, to now my husband actually most recently was able to leave his full-time crazy restaurant job to be home with us more and on nights and weekends for the first time in his life. He's been working that since he was 16 years old. And when he looks at me and says, like, thank you for all that you did to change my life, it's not just that it changed my life, it changed his, and it changed our kids. They now have a dad who's going to be there, who's going to be home. They're not going to be crying in the window, where's daddy, like my first son was for the first year and a half, almost 2 years that I worked this business. And that drove me to get to work. It hurt. It hurt. It was painful. I didn't like some things about my life. And so instead of continuing to complain or cry or ask God why, I prayed that he would lead me to a solution, and he did. And it has changed everything for the better. I cannot express my gratitude for this opportunity. I love that it's just all about me sharing my life and my heart, and reaching and inspiring other women. And if you think that you sound like this might be something you're interested in, or you might be a good fit, I would love to chat with you more. So shoot me an email at kimfitwithfaith@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me on Facebook or in a PM, and I would love to chat and tell you a little bit more and see if you might be a good fit for our team. Thanks for being here. Have a great